Now, let's take a look at small group problem solving process. Now, so far we have focused on the process that groups go through as they build relationships with one another, as well as the roles that individuals play as group members and leaders. Now that we have a foundation of the ways that groups function together, we are going to learn more about the processes that you can use with your team in order to successfully accomplish your goals. Now, decades of research have found that successful teams work through a similar 5-step problem solving process to make the best decisions possible. Missing any of these steps to try to speed up a decision process can lead to a suboptimal decision, or worse, sometimes a dangerous decision. Now, let's go over them. Here are the 5 steps. Number 1, analyze the problem. In the first stage, the group must work together to develop a thorough understanding of the problem, including an accurate understanding of the nature of the problem and seriousness and scope of the problem, any likely causes, and the consequences that will happen if the problem is not addressed effectively. Now, number 2, establish the evaluation criteria. Next, the group needs to establish standards for how the possible solutions will be evaluated. What are the requirements that the solution must meet in order to be an acceptable option? Number 3, generate alternative solutions. Third, the group should generate a list of all possible realistic and acceptable options for solutions that should be considered. Now, ideally, the group should have as many choices as possible at this point and should also ensure that those options are feasible and appropriate. Number 4, evaluate positive consequences of solutions. Next, the group should identify all of the positive consequences for each of the solutions that were generated in the previous step. Identify all of the possible good outcomes that could come from the solutions. Now, the last step, step number 5, evaluate negative consequences of the solutions. Finally, identify all of the negative consequences for each of the solutions that were generated in your step 3. What could go wrong? How might each choice negatively impact the solution, groups, or individuals? Once your group has worked through all 5 of these steps, you are ready to weigh the positive and negative outcomes of each of the options to identify the best solution to your problem. By taking enough time at these steps, you will ensure that you have all of the information that you need to deliberate together. And if this process is completed in earnest, you are more confident in the solution that you choose, and then implement.